in the
What?
we won't read in the
One of what?
office.
Huh?
I'm not so sure.
Derek, my question was, for what policing purpose did you possess the hat?
I am not a policeman, so there was no police purpose.
Use these ones.
I was given the reason I had
These
it.
are older.
Right, I put you in, right? I put you in.
Yes.
What's that?
Other than it was going to be used for a court case, I suppose. I suppose in some respects it did have a police purpose, if I can just, because it was going to be sent to the police. Yeah. Well, I think you knew what it was for. It was be sent to the police to show how old the bird was. Right. I'm splitting hairs. I know, right.
Just show you it's the section 3 of that, and it says means any article of uniform or distinctive badge or mark.
Yeah.
So the fact that it had a badge on or not is kind of matterless.
Right.
Okay. In which case, is there anything more you want to say regarding this matter?
It was bought, I believe, lawfully from eBay. And I've contacted eBay and they've directed me to PayPal. I've contacted PayPal.
I can't write that.
No,
So
sorry,
it's bought lawfully from eBay and being directed to PayPal.
Yes.
So did a policeman sell it to you?
No, man. It's like memorabilia on police uniforms. I just bought it through.
I know, but the person who was selling it must have been a policeman sometime.
No. No, they just sell all the stuff off to there was army stuff. There was all sorts on there.
Sorry, I've got as far as directed to PayPal.
And PayPal said that they would be in touch within the next 4 days, but obviously it's been more than 4 days. They They did say that they would be in touch.
Yeah. I don't dispute that. They said they would be in touch.
Yeah.
Okay, so right, Derek, do you want to have a
quick read that? Yes, right. I hope you haven't tell the lady. Sorry, what does that say? Is it?
Acknowledge.
Oh, yeah. Not many people spell Peregrine right, mate.
I don't think I did I?
You did actually. You know, people put an eye in it. The only thing I would add is that I'm still waiting for this is old Vera Burton no longer.
Tell us about it. Anyway, would you want us to just bin all the forms, Derek, and just spend a fortune on new ones? I think really, you know, in the circumstance, let's just use what we've got.
Right, okay, right.
And then we'll.
Right.
Okay. Right. So, in relation to the ideal suggestion your mother came up with,
Right, so because this is important thing.
transfer all rights of ownership of the hut to Northumbria Police.
So
And then we can, provided you do that, then we can look at this and draw a line under it. All right, because I've obviously
we can and we all.
well, that'll be my recommendation to my supervisor,
Right.
and you know, me supervisor. If you're happy with that, because the other consequence would be potentially if you're not, then it'll have to go to court to get a court's decision on it, and then a forfeiture and destruction order. I don't think you want to go through all that, do you?
No.
Well, there we go. Champion.
Don't.
Lovely. Any questions, Derek, before I shoot off? Then I'll get all this topped and tailed and
Right.
put
Do you
behind.
know when we're talking down in my house, and I don't know whether you were believing this or not, because I mean you
About
were,
the birds.
About the birds, what? Because
Derek, I appreciate what you're saying. I'm no expert.
No,
All right.
good. Can you remember that when I was telling you about that exercise?
Right.
It was as though you weren't believing this, but I can quite understand that, because obviously you deal with, shall we say, some of the less honest people in society.
I do, and I tend to go like, you know, I try to go evidence based, and you know, the way you run your operation, you know, obviously, my colleague says, and from the brief part that I've seen from the outside, it looks a lot more professional up here than it does down there. You know, certainly when you went into the house down there, it looked really, you know, looking at the house, looked very poor. So poor that, you know, I felt possibly that you might have some mental health issues going on for which you might need support, you know. So I was concerned for your welfare. So in the circumstances, what we're told to do is we're supposed to put in adult concern notifications. So we did that. So we looked at putting a concern in for you, because, you know, you see people who live. I mean, I didn't know that you lived in a caravan up here on your parents' land. Right. All right. It potentially appeared you were living there, and you know, if anybody living there, you'd be absolutely shocked.
I do stay there as well. I mean, I may stay there night time, but this is where I eat my food.
But obviously, it didn't seem, you know, a good condition for people to live in.
I did mention that.
And I know you see you do it once a month, but obviously, when we've been there, it just looked appalling. Not only for you, you know, if the dogs were living there, because I didn't know if the dogs were living there as well, and it just seemed poor conditions for the dogs, and the bottom of the cages and stuff, and all the what looked like decomposing chicks on there looked bad, and it just. But I'm not a bird person, so that's why we're contacted.
Do you know those? That's absolutely immaculate. Compare. I mean, if you had a pair of goshawks, you clear them out once a year, and the goshawks actually mute across. It's like a funnel of mousse comes out where peregrines just drop it. And I mean, it's a whole different.
So as me as a police officer, I go to something like that. I think there's potential for offences here. All right. So we contact one of the appropriate bodies, which was the RSPCA. You know, because they've got obviously their enforcement side. They were told it was obviously birds of prey and stuff like that. So they send somebody who's knows what conditions they are and stuff like that.
I understand, but then everybody was coming around. I mean, there was 5 police officers there.
Because what happened was obviously we were there some time. We needed to be relieved so we could go for toilet break and a bite to eat. And then we'll have to come back, so there was the changeover period there, plus there was Lee Davison, who's the wildlife officer. He was asked to come.
I was quite surprised because I thought Lee would have took the dominant stance over it, and then says, right...
He comes in an advisory capacity. That's the way it works, because he doesn't take on every single sort of wildlife job. Well, you know, it's what we do, because I mean, again, you know, you look at the condition of it and things like that. So the other 2 aspects was, you know, because there was open drains and stuff like that.
Yeah, because every time I actually clear the drains, because there's a break, not next door, but the next garden. So I flush them out. Because that's what the complaints have been, block drains. So I'm on the case every, not every day, but I'll most times clear the drains out.
So, you know, if we think it was something which was appropriate for environmental services to come, you know, then we'll contact them.
I mean, those two people that he brought, I mean, I don't know them, but I know them. And they've been out a number of times, and they've always worked quite well. Because if there's a complaint, I understand people have got to come up and come and see us.
You got different things, different aspects to it, which is different bodies who deal with it. So rather than keep bombarding you at totally different times and things like that,
that would be
then
bad.
we're there, we're lawfully on the premises. Let's just get who we need down, get them out now. You know, and that's what we do. That's the way we work.
I mean, really, one of the things I want to do even now is look. This is the whole picture. You saw a bit of a picture. Now that is the whole picture. You've seen the other bit. My mother is bad. I run at the hospital. Now there is a huge. I call it hack pen. You could call it a running track for birds. Now there's a limit to how much you put them in there as well, because you've got to catch them up in the night time. Because it's all to do with stress. Stress is the biggest killer of birds. Another thing you don't understand is with jurs, it runs their immune system down. That's why the vet had to come out and give us Sporanox, because it's a bit like if you run all the time, if you stress yourself all the time, you're going to get flus. They get fungal like aspergillosis, and that's why Prescott had to come out. And basically give me medication for the birds, because some of those could die. Now some of those birds I've had like say 5 or 6 years, and I've waited that length of time for them to breed, and it's really hard to lose a bird when you've waited all these times. Now the reason that the birds are still down there is because that's where they're content. That's the environment that I like.
Look, you know, obviously it's really emotive for you. You know,
because I'm at the coalface.
And what you've got as well is that you know, the loss of the 3 birds, you've got the option. You know, you can
I'm
contact the inspector.
I'm waiting for the vet to come back. I mean,
You could. I mean, I'd probably say, you know, in your first instance, you know, if you want to make a complaint, please, you're entitled to contact the inspector, and then they'll look at it from there. All right.
Right. Well,
because I mean, I will say, you know, obviously I've gone down there. I've tried to do the best that I can in the circumstances. You know, not being an expert on birds, so therefore that's why we contacted somebody who was more of an expert, i.e. the RSPCA.
Yes.
All right. And like I personally, I was trying to stay as much as I could at the
well, I must admit,
the front.
I mainly spoke to the officer whose name I didn't give the name, and I did express how it was, but I don't really believe this. But I suppose maybe it happens all the time. Obviously, I haven't got any drugs in the car, officer.
I mean, do you think he did it maliciously? I don't think he did. I think he's, you know, again, possibly like you're saying, you know, does he believe you? Does he think that you're trying to hide something, that perhaps there was something else?
Well, I think that is for part of the issue. But what I'll say is, if I did explain to him what it would do in the results. Now, maybe he didn't believe us. He thought I was trying to cover something, but I suppose I could say how distressed I was getting. Was that distress because I was trying to cover something? Was that distress because I was genuine that my birds are dying? I mean, when you see in the state of that one that I was covered in blood.
I mean, obviously, you know, I'm speaking on behalf of the police officers there that, you know, we wouldn't have gone within any intention to cause any harm to the birds. Obviously, we were trying to look at their welfare and try to get the best welfare that they can.
Has anybody even suggested that? I mean, I'm not saying that.
No. But I mean, I apologise that it's happened to the birds. You know, I would never want to see that happen to the birds. You know.
I mean, can I ask you, have you got a dog or to keep pets? Do you understand how they get you there?
I do. But obviously, there wasn't not knowing about how it can impact. Obviously, what you're telling us now, you know, it's. But I don't think it was done maliciously.
As I said, it was reiterated to your colleague. I'm in the kitchen. I don't know if I don't think you were there. Actually, it was quite early on. I think it was early on in the kitchen. Were you not in the incubator room?
Possibly. Right at the front.
Right.
Because there was, yeah.
All those chicks had fallen over.
Oh.
They had fallen over.
I understand that one of the dogs knocked it over. Because the dogs came belting out. Because it was, they were kind of all falling over. Because obviously you'd rushed off to assist your dad. And
imagine if your father brings you up and says, I've been in an accident, and that's all you need to hear. Well, where are you? I'll come down and see you.
Yeah.
I mean, accident.
Which I was initially there.
I know that's
for the accident.
But I mean, when you because I know my mother's not well, so obviously, and I'm thinking accident. He's hurt himself. Just to reassure myself. And then obviously the thing really snowballed from that. I mean, I got there not long after you arrived. I was looking on, I think it was about 4 or 5 minutes.
No, I think it was a bit longer.
Well, I was just looking on the camera, and it wasn't long. Yeah. And by the way, that nest box up in the loft is a swift box.
Right.
So the swifts come in there, and there's a little curtain on it, and I can look at the swifts, and then put the curtain back. I'm into wildlife. There's a nest box there. All you open down there, there's nest boxes all over the place. That's I'm thinking life. Since I was a little lad, that's all I've ever done.
Is there anything else you want to ask us before I go? Because as far as I'm concerned, this aspect of it, you know, that'll get sorted. Obviously, if you're wanting to progress things in relation to us being on the premises and the sort of unfortunate death of the birds.
Well, as Prescott's key came out,
Not too many people.
and he's assessed everything. I'm waiting for him to come back and to tell us what he thinks. I'm waiting for his bill as well. I'm seeing I don't know how much the bill is going to be. And obviously, I'll take it from there.
I think you know, sometimes it's difficult. I mean, that can they say that the police, because the police officer being present, that has caused the death of the bird. So he could probably say that what the cause of death was. But anyway, that'd be...
Yes, but
anyway, I don't want to go down that.
It's called race subsologa now. You know, obviously that blood, the fact that one bled to death, that's a pretty... the other ones become stressed and stuff. That's what you might class as a wee point. The answer's... We'll see what he says, but I mean, he was brought out mainly to give medication for the birds, to make sure that they didn't get aspergillosis. And then he's going to do his report from there. But I mean, I don't want confrontation with the police. I just want a quiet life. I like my big caravan next to my birds. But I don't hassle from the council.
Listen, I've taken up more than enough of your time. Right. You've obviously got a lot of birds, dogs, whatever to sort out.
Right, okay.
You know, I don't want to interrupt your your.
So you don't have a look at that film, which I explained to you. So.
Don't need to have a look.
Right.
What's your mobile number again? I'll give you a phone call, let you know the result of this.
Well, can I give you my house number, because it goes to my mobile anyway.
Certainly.
It's 01434 60 64 64.
60 64 64. Can you just stick a signature down the bottom of there?
Yeah, but it comes up with tax bill now.
Okay?
Right,
you ever put that on YouTube, are you?
No, I don't do things like that. I think you've already...
You take care. Look after yourself. And like I say, if you know, there's always the... I think it's the Quality Care Commission, isn't there? You can always get in touch with.
Are you listening to them now?
What?
Dad's told you, I've told you, you've got to get something done.
I'm a big girl now.
You're a big girl, you're a very poorly girl.